Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Google and fucking sideloading. And I am incredibly mad right now because one of the main reasons why I've stuck with Android for so long is because of the ability to sideload. Because I can download any APK I want to from the internet. Does that make Android devices maybe more susceptible to viruses and attacks? Yeah. But does that also give users the ability to download anything for free, basically, even just paid applications that they wouldn't otherwise get on the Play Store? Yeah, and that's a good thing to have. Having the ability and the freedom to download anything you want to is good. That's not a bad thing. Giving users more options is not a bad thing. And unfortunately, Google does not seem to get the memo because they have made an announcement recently that they are going to be getting rid of sideloading on, at least to my knowledge, every Android device, at least partially owned by Google or Google has a stake in, to make users not have the ability to download any APKs anymore and make them have to go through Google's own like verified system or whatever in order to download apps, which is incredibly stupid because at this point, why won't people who do want to stick with Android, just what prevents them from downloading a custom ROM, which I recommend you do if you haven't already, but if you haven't and you want to wait until they decide to roll out this change, I don't blame you either. But also, why wouldn't people who are not really super ingrained into Android and don't really care either way, why wouldn't they just go over to iPhone at this point? Because what is the point of having an Android device if not the ability to customize everything, to download anything you want to, basically to be the Linux of the phone world? Why take away the Linux part of it? Why take away the ability to download anything? Oh, it's because Google wants to have a monopoly over every app that is available, and they want you to download things their way, which is fucking disgusting, and I hate it. And I already dislike Google as a company. They decide to track you at basically any moment possible, even in moments where they don't need to, and yet they still feel the need to track you because they don't care about your privacy. They want your data. They are a public company. They're a billion dollar company. They do not care about your privacy. And it's already bad enough as is, and it's just going to get 100 times worse if this decides to actually be put into place, which I very much hope it doesn't. I recommend people retaliate against this. Just contact Google and say, hey, I don't want this to be rolled out. And unfortunately, they may have already pre-decided we're going to be rolling this out no matter what backlash we get, which is unfortunately the way I see things going, because they want things to be a closed wall garden approach. They want it to be like Apple. They want to be like Apple as much as possible. That's why they made a bunch of changes to Android recently to make it similar to Apple. They want to have that same level of monopoly over Android. And unfortunately, it's going to work, especially if they get this change rolled out. And that's why, again, I recommend anybody who doesn't want to go to iPhone, which I recommend you don't, if you want to stick with Android, which a lot of people do, and wanted to stick with Android because of sideloading in the first place, I recommend, again, just de-Googling your phone in any way, download a custom ROM, which I will probably do very, very soon. If not now, then when they roll out this change, because yeah, again, I really hate this change. I already dislike Google, as I said, enough as is. So imagine my shock when they decided to get even worse and make one of the worst changes they have made to Android ever, if not the worst change. Because again, what is the reason for having an Android in the first place at this point? Because one of the main reasons why I and a lot of other people have Android is because you can download third-party applications. That is the great thing about Android. That is like the one reason why so many people are sticking with Android, and getting rid of that ability is incredibly stupid. It's just incredibly misguided. So yeah, again, I recommend anybody who hasn't already just de-Google your phone, download a custom ROM, or if you don't really care about Android at all and you're fine with being in another monopoly, then you can go to iPhone as well. But again, I will probably just download a custom ROM, and that's that. So that is going to be it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.